Okay, so let's review a little bit what happened this past month in Korea. Today we have four subjects that we each picked two subjects that we wanted to debate a little bit on. The first one is, I already spoiled it, I should have hidden it, but it's who should be allowed to vote in Korea. And I wanted to talk about this because a week ago, 2 weeks ago, we actually had the presidential election in Korea.
Mm-hmm.
To go quickly, to explain quickly what happens in Korea every 5 years. So president is elected for 5 years, and then there is the votation, and in Korea, it's one round, and whoever gets the most.
It's very simple.
Yeah,
right?
it's very simple.
Yeah.
Whoever gets the most, how do you say, votes?
Votes.
Vote
Yeah.
count,
Yeah.
win the election. And there are like two major parties, the red and the blue. The conservative, and the other one is I forgot how they call themselves.
Liberals.
Liberals.
I don't know really. Yeah. The more.
I'm not that much into politics actually in Korea because, well, that's what we're gonna talk about today. We cannot vote. So if I would be able to vote, I would get much more interested in what's going on. I just follow. I mean, yeah, I would be more interested now that you know that you don't have any voice anyway.
But were you not interested? I was quite like, compared to any of the elections back home or in the US, this was quite a big one. Like,
Oh, you're more interested of the current election than you were before
this time around. But like, yeah, this will probably go into the topic because it affects our I'm probably starting off a bit too early, but it affects our lives directly. So
okay.
I was
Anyway,
really interested in
let's
this.
start the timer and see what we have to say for
Yeah.
a few minutes. So, yeah, like I just said, foreigners are not allowed to vote for president, even though there's some special rules about you can hold a permanent residency visa, F5, where you can vote for local elections like the mayor and like some local law,
regional
as we
ones,
saw, regional law.
Yeah.
But in any case, you won't be authorized. You cannot vote for the president.
That's the first time I heard about that. I couldn't believe it, actually.
I heard that before.
Yeah.
But actually, there's not so many foreigners having that.
But you hold a
visa.
Korean passport, right? When you have that.
No.
But you can become a Korean. But
that would be if you change your nationality. Then you would get like a Korean passport and you would become Korean. And at the time, you can vote for. You would be Korean at the time.
Okay, if you become nationalized Korean, right?
Here's the permanent residence visa.
Okay, right.
You cannot vote for president.
So that's an F5, and then for us, we're on an F6, like a spousal visa.
Yes.
And it's exact same for us. We officially can't vote as well, right?
Yes. So I think that's wrong. That personally, if you've been living in a country for 10 plus years, you've been married to a Korean wife, and you still have, and you're paying tax in that country, you're working, you're doing everything as a Korean, and yet you cannot vote for the president.
Yeah, I completely agree on that part. Like, if you're paying tax for like years and stuff like that, really, you should have a decision where that money goes. But however, it's like a gray line. For example, imagine you've been here. There's a lot of people who have been here like 10 years, 20 years as maybe a teacher or some of it like that. Would you say?
So teachers are not there. You'd say they are lower tiers of foreigners in Korea.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. But a lot of people do say that. But what I'm saying is they don't have as much ties here. They're not married.
Yeah.
They're not like they haven't.
Some are.
Yeah, but if they're married, no. But I mean, if they were married, they would be like an F6 visa.
Yeah, right.
But what I'm saying is like there's a lot of people who have been teaching here or working here, not just teachers, I mean, but like they've worked here 10, 15 years, but they haven't got the visa. They haven't like maybe studied Korean, so they haven't been eligible for their F5 visa or got married. Should they be annoyed as well? Do you think they should also have, right?
I don't think so.
Because they can like go back to the US for a year, come back and stuff like that.
It's hard to pinpoint exactly who should be allowed to do, and if you make some rules like this, for sure some people would be hurt by whatever decision is made. But I feel like being married to a Korean wife doesn't bring me a lot of new like things in my life. It's a more stable visa.
Yeah.
But what else can I do that I couldn't do before? Not much. It's just a longer visa, and not even like the first time you can only get it for 1 year, and then you have to renew it every year. You got
3 years, man. 3 years. I still haven't collected. It's a different topic. I still haven't collected my ARC cards. It might have just got cancelled. I don't know. For 2 months, I haven't been back to collect it yet.
I mean,
anyway,
I wonder in how many countries, if you get married to a country and you get a visa only for a year, how many countries do that? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
I really wonder. I mean, in Switzerland, if you get married, then you get it's not called a visa, it's called a permit. But anyway, you are almost Swiss, and if you are married for 10 years, you can like take that class and you can become Swiss, and it's easier, I think.
Really? Yeah. I don't know. I think Korea is like pretty okay. Like it's pretty good. I can understand about the voting thing though. It is a bit frustrating. Like, you should have a decision where like, where you've committed to living here really. So you should have some kind of decision where the country goes. But I don't know.
Why do you think it's like that? Why do you think it's like that? Why Korea decided this way? And why even F5 visa holder, they cannot even vote? Is it because you're not pure blood, so you cannot truly understand what we went through, and you'll never be Korean? Is that the message behind that?
I think there's just not enough. There's just not that many of us. There's not many people making
So
an
it's
issue.
not worth it to even change it.
There's not like that many people really making a big deal about it. But I can understand it is frustrating.
True, but I'm pretty sure there's some pure blood things going on behind it also.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but.
Actually, I know Koreans are surprised that we cannot vote. Some Koreans asked me a few times, like, so can you? Because they know that I've been here in Korea for a very long time, and they're just surprised that I cannot. They just assume that we could.
Yeah, I think the one thing just quickly mention though is the turnout this year was so high. It was really high anyway. So like, they don't really need us anyways. Our different.
All right, that's one of the last thing that, I mean, it's not really related to that. I mean, it's related to votation, but not foreigners. But it's crazy high, the participation. How do you say participation amount?
Yeah.
In Korea, it's like what 75+%, something like this.
It's something like that. It was really high this year.
It's really high.
Year.
People are really involved.
And this year it was so close. It was like within 1% or something. It could have swung either way. So. Like literally, like for example, for me at the bar, like I'm trying to overhear people talking. It's like people are either really against what the result or really happy about the result. It's so black and white at the moment. But like thankfully, it's not like the US. People here are quite civilized. It hasn't like there's no one trying to flip and invade the White House or the Blue House here and stuff. People are kind of accepting of it. They're just a bit annoyed. Yeah. So.
And so moving on the next topic, which is also related to votations. I wanted to talk about something else also. I was thinking to talk about, how a little bit stupid the votations are on TV, when they do all those 3D graphics with like the president being in stupid situation. I wanted to talk about this, and it's pretty funny.
It's fun to watch. You
guys should watch if you've never seen what current election looks like on TV.
Right.
On the election night, they have those. Yeah, they make those like silly. They put the face of the president, the runners, like the, how do you say,
candidates,
people, the candidates on like some. They integrate them in stupid movies like the Avengers, and they're fighting, and like it's like so weird, but also I don't know if they make this to make people more to participate or just to make it fun.
It's a watch.
I don't know what the reason behind this is, but you should definitely watch it online, like some Korean elections on TV. It's pretty funny.
Right. I just couldn't imagine it happening back home. Like, I couldn't imagine Boris on, them showing Boris or Johnson or whatever. Like, these, like flying down a ski slope, racing on a ski. So it's really good to watch.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, but the next topic instead, I want to talk about whether you think that reunification will ever happen in Korea. I think that's one of the things that people. Actually, I don't know if Koreans really are concerned about this. I know foreigners are, like, and I think I see online on Reddit or Facebook always people talking about what relationship Korea will have with its neighbor, like North Korea and China, and will they lean more on the West and be more friend with America? And as you might know or not, American army have been in Korea. They have like a military base in Korea for, I don't know, like how many years? Like, I mean, since the war.
Yeah.
So some candidates, some presidents wants to see the Americans leaving the country. Some people don't. And it's always like a question when a new president come, whether in which way he will go, like
right.
the west or the east. And the current one already spoke about not wanting to be friend with China anymore, or like trying to, and he wants to strengthen the relationship with America, which a lot of Koreans don't like. But anyway, that also raised the question whether the two Korea will ever become one again. And I think we can start the timer now. I think the previous president, Moon Jae-in, was pretty close to North Korea, and he met with the president a few times.
Yeah.
He was one of the first president who actually, South Korean president who visited some of the places in North Korea. He took some trip to Baekdusan, like the mountain in the border of China and North Korea.
Oh, really? He went?
Yeah, he went there.
I didn't even know.
So yeah, if Moon Jae-in have stayed in power longer, I think he was working towards that goal.
It's never gonna happen though. I don't think. Like I think he gave one of the best shots at it. Like he tried like at the early stages, but I think he realized it's very hard trying to deal with that kind of system, with such a dictator, and unless North Korea really like changes their system and becomes more of a democracy, like it's really tough to get back together. And like I think Moon realized after the first couple of years, and it was showing promising signs. Do you remember there was a lot of like, obviously Trump went over and like they had meetings and stuff, but then it just deteriorated. There's too many issues.
It's weird because at the same time you want to see the two Koreas being friends. I mean, you don't want to have tension between the countries, because you don't want to be afraid every day. You don't want to think about this every day. I remember when I first came to Korea, the first few years, I was thinking about this pretty often. But actually, to be fair, the situation was worse 7 years ago. The situation got pretty bad at some point, and I remember thinking like, oh, I'm on the good side of the river. If they if they destroy all the bridges, I can still go to Busan, which is the city in the south, and maybe take a boat out of the country.
Not selfish. I was
thinking about those kind of things.
Just fuck the north and the river people.
Anyway, it's weird because you want to see them being friend, but you also don't really want to see it being too friend, because I don't think reunification will be a really good thing. It will it will bring more tension with China, and because having North Korea being back with South Korea, I mean, being as one country, it's like the open door to China. China will have direct access to whole Korea, which now we have this like artificial border, which like we have North Korea between China and South Korea.
Bit of a buffer.
It's a buffer. Yeah. So you want them to be friends.
Yeah, exactly.
And I like to see sometimes, Moon Jae-in going there and meeting with him and seeing that at least they are talking,
right?
Rather than being super cold to each other and having that threat, that unknown threat. I don't like this. So you want a little bit of both.
Like I think it's really sad when you see, like, obviously people are older now, but when you see families that are stuck over in the north, and then people haven't seen their, like, some even probably brothers and sisters or cousins or aunties.
But that's what Moon Jae-in did also a few times that past few years. I knew those meetings were happening a few times, I think, over the years, but Moon Jae-in like made them more. I think it was like a yearly thing, or where North Korean and South Korean families they could meet one day. You've seen that, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, it's really good to see like people, being able to meet like long lost family and friends, well, not friends but family. But so it's so sad to know that it's just people are like a few miles away. You can, it's not far at all, and they haven't been able to see the family for years, decades and stuff. So it'd be great in theory for the two countries to, like just settle everything and, officially like finish, because they're at war still, like officially, like, just de-escalate everything. But
realistically, do you think it will ever happen in the next 20, 30, 40 years?
I think it's only going to happen if like if North Korea, there's some revolution, there's like a, I don't know, coup d'etat or whatever, like the public like rise up against like the government, but it's just very hard. It's hard to imagine it,
but personally, would you want to see it happen, or?
Yeah. I mean, I think like the China thing, obviously China's a concern these days. Obviously, like, they seem to be becoming more and more like, I think dictatorship in a way. It's kind of a little bit scary, but yeah, I would like to see them, reunify, but only if, North Korea kind of playing,
I don't want to see that. I think I obviously don't want to see North Korea being like a dictatorship anymore, and I want them to be, a normal country.
Yeah.
But anyway, they can stay like separated countries, and they've had their own culture now. We have in South Korea, they have their own cultures, so I don't think that would make any sense.
For example, if the borders were open, would you be happy for that? For like North Koreans easily to, obviously they're still separate countries, but just come in and out.
That'd be good. But that doesn't mean like they reunify. That they could still be a separated country.
Yeah, that would probably be a good solution. A bit like obviously Northern Ireland and South Ireland. You know what I mean? Some island. Yeah. I guess so. No, it's just hard to imagine. It's kind of really sad that like in these days, how can a problem not be solved? Like.
It's like
surely
the same thing is happening with Ukraine. You're like, why does this happen now? Like, we're in 2022. Why can't everyone like just be their own country and just
Yeah, and if there's any issues, I know that obviously, just put two people in the room, the leaders in the room, and just sort it out. They can, it just never happens, unfortunately.
Too many crazy people like taking care of those countries. I mean, being in high positions like this.
That's why I go back to the earlier topic about like, should you be able to vote? Even now, votes feel even more precious. And, to the previous topic, people, that's why the voter rate is so high, because people really feel passionate about who should be leading the countries, isn't it? It's like, yeah.